Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Hesse Bros Pod. It's your boy Brent Hesse and joining me, Luke. Luke, what is going on? We've had some crazy NFL playoff games and we are down to four teams left. The AFC and NFC championships this weekend. Let's go back to the divisional round. And what did you see from last weekend?
Well, it was a great weekend of matchups, and we had some really good games, and we had a couple of blowouts. But overall, we're seeing a high level of football around the board, and really good defense is probably the biggest takeaway. This is a year of defenses, and that's who's gonna want to take it all this year. Is who's got the best defense. The main thing I saw though was the game that had the most offense with the Broncos versus the Bills. Everyone's talking about it. That was an absolute classic in the playoffs there, and Josh Allen still can't get it done. Loses in the divisional round again. And I think it was pretty crazy that after that game, the Bills end up firing their coach, McDermott. I mean, I really don't understand it. He's been so good. He's always, he's had one of the best records, and he gets them there every time. I think it's more of a personnel issue rather than coaching. And for one thing, in that game, the refs, like, they were blaming the refs. The owner was, and then he also said, "Well, just because we lost this game, that's why he's getting fired." That was absolutely insane, and I don't know who they're going to get that's going to be better than what McDermott was able to offer them.
I just think it's time to move on. The Bills have had chance after chance. They've not been able to get over the hump. Josh Allen, most career playoff victories without making a Super Bowl, and didn't even sniff the AFC Championship game this year in a year in which the top two favorites going into the year, both the Chiefs and the Ravens, didn't even make the playoffs. So the avenue was there, and Josh Allen could not get it done. Four turnovers, inexcusable. And even without those turnovers, even with them, still had multiple chances to put that game away. Missed a quick screen throw in the fourth quarter to Shakir. Could have been a 10-point lead with 5 minutes to go. Then you get the ball back, get him in a field goal range, but had a chance to throw that touchdown pass on the final play that Allen threw in regulation. Instead, missed this tight end. Now you go into overtime, get a stop, and have a chance for a drive, and miss McCole Hardman on the second down. The third down throw, great, but Cooks doesn't come down with it. Great play by the defensive back and interception, and just too many mistakes by the Bills. That's been the story in the playoffs. You can't go this long with a coaching quarterback, and when you have a quarterback talent like that and not get it done. So I understand it. I think it's makes a little bit of sense for sure that McDermott's time has just expired.
It's still wild to me, and if they aren't able to get back to having these consistent of years, if they have a couple down years, even with Josh, I mean, it seems like it's not likely, but that division is starting to turn things around. You never know, what it's going to end up being like. So, going to the playoffs that many years in a row and always having a chance late in these games too, and just not coming up with it, it's a strange decision for me. But anyways, and plus, I mean, the couple of those PI calls that just got him down there. I wish the game would have ended in a little bit better fashion than just those PI calls, but they were probably good calls at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's Sean McDermott's defense. You can't allow Bo Nix to be the best player on the field and not take any criticism for it. So while Allen made some mistakes, they also gave up a lot of points, and that is the problem there. You can't allow that kind of drive, and that's McDermott's job as a defensive guy. He's got to be able to make sure he puts his players in the best position to not make those mistakes in crucial spots.
Fair enough, Brent. What else did you see last week?
Well, I was enthralled by the Rams Bears game. It was just a classic cold weather game. It was hard to score for a lot of the moments, but Stafford made plays when he needed to. He has the first drive, sets the tone for the Rams, then struggles, but then in the fourth quarter has a big drive to get him back in front, and then the overtime drive. But he wasn't the only quarterback out there that was making some plays. Caleb Williams, for the second straight week, Luke, has just an incredible, miraculous play when their season was on the line. First, it was against the Packers on that 4th and 5, where he finds Odunze when it looks like he has no chance, rolling to his left, being hit, throwing off platform, delivering a strike. And then this week, just backing up, backing up. They had the ball, the 12-yard line. He ends up throwing it from the 40, just a straight 20-yard sprint back And when that ball was thrown, looked like it had no chance. Instead, Komet is just wide open in the end zone. Perfect ball. And I'm just impressed by Caleb Williams. Yes, he has those highs and lows. He's still not consistent. His completion percentage is too low. He threw too many turnovers again this week. But I think it just shows that he has that ability, and he's only going to get better in year two under Ben Johnson. I think he's already the best quarterback in the division.
Well, I don't know. I think Jared Goff is still better than him. I mean, Caleb Williams is pretty solid, but that was an atrocious pick that he threw at the end of the game there. You can't do that in overtime. Like you gotta do better than that. And
DJ Moore get any blame on that? The receiver looked like he gave up on the route.
I mean, come on now. Caleb's got I mean, you could go either way, but I still think just throwing a pick in that scenario, you can't have it. And Caleb Williams, I don't think he's that guy. I mean, I know he's solid. He makes these crazy plays, but like you said, you got to be consistent in the NFL if you want to be able to make these deep runs, and especially if you want to be able to win the NFC North. They're going to need him to really iron out some of those, bad throws, inconsistent throws as far as like intermediate throws and like screens and stuff like that. He's just not that good at them right now, and so they're going to need to get better at that if they want to have a real shot.
He's still learning, absolutely, and he's got to clean some things up, but that Bears team is going to be dangerous. I would not want to be in a division with them next season.
Oh, we're going to beat him twice again. Ben Johnson will probably never beat Dan Campbell whenever, and probably his entire career. I don't see why he ever would.
Well, Luke, we both had the Texans going to the AFC Championship game and winning that and going to the Super Bowl, but it all came crashing down. I thought surely after C.J. Stroud made so many mistakes against the Steelers, he would focus on ball security, cleaning that up. He'd done a good job protecting the ball. That's not been his issue at all this season. It's been other things. So I thought that is going to be cleaned up. Instead, it was even worse. 4 interceptions in the first half and multiple passes throughout the game, more that could have been picked off. And there goes our Super Bowl pick, Luke. How disappointed are you in Stroud's play?
I mean, it was atrocious. It was some of the worst quarterback play. I think they probably win that game with any other quarterback in the league. They win that one just with how good that defense was. I mean, all they had to do was anything on offense or just, punt it away. I was thinking in the third quarter, you might as well just punt it on first down and see if your defense can get a turnover and get you in field goal range. Just like that. I mean, they couldn't do anything because he's turning it over and giving them good field position. And, yeah, it was wild. I don't understand it. I think they should have went to Davis Mills after halftime, if I'm being honest. I think that would have given them a better chance to win, and you only get these opportunities every once in a while, especially for a Texans team that in the AFC, they were, besides them and the Bills, like they were the most conditioned playoff rosters in the AFC with the chance to make it to the Super Bowl. At that point, when you see Stroud doesn't have it, you should have yanked him.
The Patriots did make some plays in the fourth quarter to extend it, but it was right there all throughout the game. And if it weren't for those mistakes, it really could have been different because the Texans defense did what we expected to, prevented New England from moving the ball for large majorities of the game and got some turnovers of their own, maybe even a couple more where it may put the ball on the ground, but the Texans were unable to recover it. So it was very frustrating, disappointing for me in that Texans game, Luke. And then, though, the next day we had some fun, and this is not on a rundown, but want to ask you about it anyway. Luke, the IU alum, 1 year removed from being in Bloomington, and you got to watch the Hoosiers pull off an incredible turnaround from being one of the worst teams in college football, and just 2 years later with Signetti to win the national championship. So just tell me about how you were feeling throughout that game Monday. How'd you celebrate? How did it all go down?
It was awesome. I was at a friend's house watching with a bunch of buddies, and it was probably the most insane thing I've ever witnessed. I mean, Mendoza is going to be great for the Raiders. I hope that they are able to do him right because he's a fantastic quarterback, and he's probably the greatest, college football player I've ever witnessed. I mean, the way that he's able to just run through, call that 4th and 4, quarterback draw, take it to the crib. I mean, it almost brings a tear to my eye right now just thinking about it. It's beautiful stuff. and to get the punt. I mean, I was actually getting very nervous, obviously. Watching that game, you could tell in the second half Miami's offense was ready to fire, and they were firing on all cylinders with those guys that got there. That was a great team. And we needed that punt block touchdown. We needed the interception at the end of the game, and we were able to do just enough to win it. Kurt Cignetti had an absolute all-time coaching performance in that game. Everything he's done to build the roster and get those boys ready for this moment, but also during the game, being ready to call that 4th and 4 quarterback draw instead of just taking the field goal going up 6. Where I was a little nervous. I thought maybe we should have kicked it, but he knew exactly what to do. And it was an all-time moment, something I'll look back on the rest of my life for sure.
Have you come down from the high of it yet? It's been almost a week. You still riding high from it?
Absolutely not. Not coming down. Probably not ever.
That's awesome. Well, I was very happy for you, Luke, and credit to you. I asked you for a play, and you gave me Mendoza anytime touchdown. So then not only that, but it was the play of the season as Mendoza scored that touchdown to go up 2 scores in the fourth quarter on a 4th down play. So that was awesome, Luke. And we're expecting some more good football here this weekend in the AFC and NFC championship games. Let's start with the first game. It's New England at Denver. And the Broncos at home are the biggest home underdogs in AFC championship history, Luke, over a field goal. It's now at 3.5 points because Bo Nix suffered that season-ending injury, broke his ankle in the final plays of the game. So it's going to be Jarrett Stidham. Just 4 career starts, Luke. Let's start with him. What do you expect from Stidham and this Broncos offense, and what kind of design Sean Payton's going to have for him?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, with only 4 starts, there's not really much to look at, and I don't know how many years. It's been a while since he's even had a start in the first place. I know he's been in the league for a decent amount of time here, so it's pretty crazy that he's getting the start here. But Sean Payton seems confident in him. I think they'll definitely, play more conservative. They know how good their defense is. The Broncos have such a great defense that cannot be overlooked. And we saw what the Texans were able to do to the Patriots. And Sean Payton's not going to let Stidham throw away the game like Stroud did for the Texans. So I think they're going to lean on the run game, lean on that defense, and just do enough to let Stidham, get into the rhythm of the game. And maybe in the fourth quarter he has to make a couple big throws, but I don't see him putting much weight on the quarterback.
I agree. I think obviously the plan is going to be at home, just play ball control, don't make mistakes, see if you can get it to a fourth quarter, and put some pressure on the other team and their quarterback who's young. Drake May obviously has been amazing all season, but he's made mistakes here in this playoff run. So I think it's going to be a very conservative game plan, but also I think there'll be times when Sean Payton dials up some special plays. He had some good designs with Bo Nix last week to be able to generate some offense against the Bills. And I think that this Patriots defense has been impressive, but they played against 2 of the weakest offensive lines in NFL the last 2 weeks in the Chargers and Texans. That's a different challenge against one of the better offensive lines of Denver. Now, Luke, other side of the ball, the Patriots and Drake May, we've talked about them. This is a Broncos defense that's right up there with the Texans, one of the best in the league, and along with the Seahawks we'll talk about in a minute. I think those are clearly the 3 best defenses all year long. So what can New England do to generate offense and to take care of the ball? How aggressive should they be as opposed to maybe trying to play conservative, but then you might get yourself in a game that is 1 score going into the fourth quarter?
I would expect New England, their best way to generate offense is going to be through Ramondre Stevenson. He has looked really good so far in the playoffs here. And Henderson's a good back, but I think it takes too many touches for him to get his rhythm going. There's a lot of, 0, 1, 2-yard plays, and then he'll be able to break one for 15, 20. But I don't know if they're going to be able to do that against this Broncos team. So I'd say just stick with Stevenson. He's been really consistent at getting, more consistent yards per carry as far as getting, 4 yards. Being able to move the sticks. And he's also been good in the pass game. So I'd expect a big day from Stevenson, and that's about all they'll be able to do because I don't trust their receivers against the Broncos secondary, and it's going to be real tough for that offensive line against the Broncos pass rush as well. So I think it's going to be all on what I would expect is give the ball to Stevenson.
I think that Drake May has been the guy that's got him there, though, so they've got to continue to ride Drake May. He makes some mistakes, he'll have those fumbles, but those plays that he can generate, that's what the Broncos cannot do. So look down the field, and then it's going to be big on third downs. How can they win that third down battle? Because May has the capability to have big plays down the field, and he can also use his legs. So this Patriots team, while they might have some bad drives, I think they're going to be able to have more good drives than bad, and I like their chances in this game, which is why as we get to our picks, I am taking the New England Patriots, even -3.5 on the road. Their path has set up well for them. They've still got to go out and finish and execute, but I think the Patriots win this game. I think they win it pretty comfortably. I don't see the Broncos being able to do enough to stick around. I think a couple of good touchdown drives from the Patriots will be enough. And May using his legs. When he can get out and run, he's a good athlete. I like Drake May over 30 rushing yards in this game. When it comes down to playoffs and big moments, we've seen it before, quarterbacks making plays, and that is what's going to happen in this one.
Well, Brent, I'm on the opposite side here. I think the Broncos are going to be able to at least cover the 3.5. I like that side a lot, but I think they got a good chance to win it. And you know what? I'm going to take them to win it. Initially, as soon as I heard about the Bo Nix injury, I was like, oh, I don't think the Broncos are going to be able to get it done. Patriots should be able to run away with it. But after thinking more about it, I think the Broncos have a better defense and better play on the offensive and defensive lines than the Patriots. And that's going to be enough to be able to get this done for the Broncos, especially playing at home at Mile High. Is going to be very difficult for the Patriots to walk in there and control this game the way that people expect them to just because Bo Nix is out. So I'm going with the Broncos and give me Nick Bonito to get 1+ sack. If you want to, ladder it up. Get him 2, 3 sacks. Who knows? I don't know if you can bet him to strip the ball out of Drake May's hands or not, but if you can do that on whatever platform you're on, do that as well. I think he's going to have a big game. People forget about him. He was in the Defensive Player of the Year race for a while until Myles Garrett absolutely just ran away with it. But yeah, he's a great player, and he's going to be ready to go get his team to the Super Bowl.
You know, it's so tough talking about this matchup because the Chiefs have been in the AFC Championship every year. Started the first one against the Patriots, and now the Chiefs missed the playoffs, and the Patriots are right back in the AFC Championship where they had been. And they're playing in Denver, the Chiefs' biggest divisional rival. So not fun, but I am on the Patriots in this one, Luke. And we'll move over to the other game. Although I do agree that Bonito could be a huge factor, and I do expect him to get at least 1 sack. So I like that play. Although can't side with you on the Broncos 3.5. Now Rams Seahawks, and it's a kind of a similar game. You've got on one side an MVP candidate quarterback, and then on the other side you've got a dominant defense at home. In this one, the Seahawks are 2.5-point favorites, and these two teams have played 2 very close games as division rivals this year. The Rams won at home after Darnold melted down through 4 interceptions. Still, though, they had a chance for a game-winning field goal, albeit a deep one, 60 yards that Myers could not convert. Then the other game was the Thursday night just showcase of the Rams getting up 16 points in the fourth quarter. Seahawks score a 2-point conversion on an incomplete pass, and the rest is history. Shaheed with the punt return touchdown. Rams score in overtime. Seahawks come back and score and get another 2-point conversion. So this is going to be a fun one, Luke. And we've already seen Darnold melt down once against the Rams. We've seen him do it in playoff games in the past and in big moments. But so far in these playoffs, he hasn't really been asked to do much. Against the Niners, kind of just got to roll to victory. It was a comfortable win. They start off with the kick return. He was in control from the get-go and just had to manage that game. So is this against a high-powered offense, I think much more even matchup than the 49ers game, where we could see the Darnold meltdown?
I think the Darnold meltdown is probably coming if they give him an opportunity to melt down. And I don't think that the Seahawks are going to even give him that opportunity because they're not going to be down. They're not going to need to throw the ball as much. So I don't think Darnold's really going to have to do too much, do more than he's asked to do. Yeah, then the first game he did throw 4 picks, but I think he's got that out of his system. He's going to be ready to go here, and they're going to lean on Kenneth Walker. He had a huge game against the 49ers, and just take the pressure off of Darnold. I think the defense is where we need to look in this game because the Rams' offense, it's going to be tough for them. So I don't know, Brent. What do you think? You think Darnold's going to melt down?
I don't see a meltdown. I think he'll play well for the most part of the game, but I think that in the fourth quarter or sometime critical in the game, he will make a mistake. And against a high quality team, that could be all it takes is one mistake to flip this game or to just give the Rams the little sliver that they need to take advantage. So I don't expect Darnold to melt down. I think he's come a long ways, and I think he's comfortable in this offense. They design it well for him. He's got enough weapons. They can rely on that run game, although Charbonnet being out is critical. But I think Darnold could make that one mistake that changes this game. And on the other side, Matt Stafford and this Rams team, Luke. Stafford has been a beast this season. The playoffs haven't been amazing. He struggled in times in both the games, but did enough with game-winning drives in both instances to get it done. So is this Stafford's time to shine, Luke? We've seen him go on one special playoff run already once in his career when he hoisted the Lombardi just a few years ago.
I don't think it's the time for his run. I think this is where he runs out of luck. We saw against the Panthers and the Bears, like you mentioned, this Rams offense is not clicking like they were earlier in the season. It might be because Adams just got back from injury, and they're still trying to figure out how to get him the ball. I mean, he barely got the ball in that game against the Bears. So I feel like this is not the time that you want your offense to not be ready to go against this Seahawks defense that's going to absolutely take it to them. I think Stafford's going to struggle a lot. They're going to have short drives, incomplete passes for him, and he's not going to be able to get it done in this one. I think this is going to be a very bad game for him.
See, I think this is the sign of a great team, is that the Rams have not played their best in the playoffs and yet still find ways to win. Now is the time where they're going to take it up another notch and get back to that team that we are accustomed to seeing. When you talk about the weapons of Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, the strong tight end play they have, and in the backfield, both Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, there's just too much not to like about this team. They're going to find a way. They moved the ball against the Seahawks in the last game. They were leading by 16 points, and even after they got it tied up, they went down and scored a touchdown in overtime. They can move the ball against the Seahawks defense, unlike a lot of teams. I think they're going to be able to do it again.
Well, in the first matchup, they had 19 points, if I remember correctly, after 4 turnovers from Darnold. So they weren't able to do a whole lot in that one. That Thursday night matchup was insane, but I do not see this game going like that at all. I think the Seahawks defense takes control. But it will definitely be interesting, Brent. And what type of picks are you going with on this one?
Well, I think the Rams do get it done. I'm going to trust the quarterback that I believe in more and trust those offensive weapons and trust that the defense can step it up just enough to be able to get the job done on the road. It's not going to be easy, but the Rams as underdogs, too juicy for my liking. And another plus money play I like is Devontae Adams anytime touchdown. He has been quiet in these playoffs, but now it's his third game back. He's going to continue to get more and more looks with the defense being focused on Nacua, of course, on the other side. And he's Stafford's go-to guy in the red zone when they're going to need a play. I think Stafford steps up, delivers one to Adams. We saw that great sideline catch on a third down against the Bears in a critical spot. This time I think it's in the end zone. Adams scores, Rams win.
I'm on the opposite side here, Brent. I'm going with the Seahawks. I honestly would probably tease it up to about 6.5 points. I think everyone is thinking this is going to be a close game, but the Seahawks are playing as such a better team right now than the Rams are for a month at this point. The Seahawks are trending in the right direction, and they're going to display it on the field here and absolutely wash the Rams in this game. I think they lean on that rush attack, which has, I think Walker, even though Charbonnet being out does hurt, but Walker has everything he needs. He hasn't been getting as many carries this year because of the emergence of Charbonnet as that basically 1A, 1B attack. But Walker has what it takes to be a workhorse type of guy, and be able to get it done. I see him getting 2 TDs in this game, at least one. Definitely lock that in. But give me 2 TDs for Walker and the Seahawks by 2 scores.
Okay, Luke. Well, we are completely on opposite ends. If you're right, it's going to be a rematch of that Super Bowl we saw from Peyton Manning against the Legion of Boom. If I'm right, it'll be the Super Bowl rematch we saw with Jared Goff and Brady's last one in New England. So we will see, Luke. We're both snowed in the Midwest this weekend. So what's your final thoughts as we get ready for Conference Championship Sunday?
Well, I hope you all already bought your beers if you do live in the Midwest, because it's going to be tough to go to the store and get them now, because it's going to be a good Sunday.
Yes, it will. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to the Hesse Bros Pod. We're fired up for some Conference Championship football, and we'll see you to discuss the Super Bowl next time here on the Hesse Bros.